and very good evening to all the participants. I, Dr. Krishna Aineniwar, take this opportunity to welcome you all for the today's session, that is how compliance with good corporate governance and business ethics is in the long-term interest of the entire humanity. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Krishna. As always, it's a pleasure to be part of this series of 30 days, 30 topics, 30 programs. And today's session that we have is really an eye-opener in many ways. Uh, this program is really, I think, need of the hour. Today on 27th day of this series of 30 days, 30 topics, 30 programs, the topic that we have is how compliance with good governance and business ethics is in the long-term interest of entire humanity. And I'm sure, friends, when you hear this topic, you can definitely estimate and judge significance and importance of this topic, corporate governance and business ethics, and how these are important and in the long-term interest of the entire humanity. And when I say that compliance with the corporate governance and business ethics on the part of everyone is definitely in the interest of the entire humanity, I really mean it. I really mean it. And why do I say this? Because if everybody fails to follow the good corporate governance, if everybody fails to follow business ethics, you can imagine what kind of society we will have. We will have the society which is full of corrupt people, people with crooked attitude. Crooked means people trying to take advantage of each other, people trying to cheat everyone. And I'm sure you can imagine that nobody would like to be part of such a society. And therefore, friends, to comply with the corporate governance and to follow the business ethics is absolutely in the interest of the entire humanity. And I think it's the right time that people become aware. And instead of doing only lip service, because some governments from time to time, some organizations from time to time keep talking about the corporate governance and business ethics, unfortunately, they do very little for really making the corporate governance and business ethics as order of the day. And if they fail, then they that failure is really going to cost hugely to this entire humanity. Friends, I'm sure today's program that we have, today's session that we have, is definitely going to be an eye opener, as I said earlier, for every one of us. And I'm sure all of us will feel committed to the cause of good corporate governance and business ethics. What we are going to do today, so what we will cover in this session today, number one, is we will understand what is good corporate governance and business ethics with examples from history. अब देखिए दोस्तों, अगर मैं बात करूं कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस की, तो टिपिकली हम सबके दिमाग में, बिकॉज आई नो दैट मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल हु आर वाचिंग दिस प्रोग्राम, they are from the one profession or the other, and therefore, when we talk in terms of the corporate governance, we start thinking in terms of the laws and rules and regulations and things like that. But let me tell you, friends, that is not corporate governance. That is compliance with the corporate governance. And why we have to do the compliance with the corporate governance? We have to do compliance with the corporate governance because we as corporate fail to follow the good practices of governance. Since we fail to follow the good practices of the government, that is why the government has to brought the rules and has to bring the rules and regulations and statute and things, legislation. And then what we do, we only try to ensure कि जो रूल है, जो रेगुलेशन है, जो लॉ है, जो लेजिस्लेशन है, जो एक्ट है, उसमें जितना पूछा गया है उतना हम करें. And that is what we think is the corporate governance. Unfortunately, it's not. Please remember, good corporate governance. Good corporate governance is less a matter of statute, less a matter of rules and regulations. Good corporate governance is more a matter of mindset, a matter of mindset. And let me give you a few examples, friends, to understand as to what is corporate governance from the history of this country. We all have heard of Chanakya. Once Chanakya was doing his work. It was late in the evening, dark, and he was doing his work. Some people came to meet Chanakya, and he asked them to wait for a while. Now, this was a group of 7-8 people. They waited for him to finish his work. After a while, Chanakya called all these 8-10 people inside. These people went inside, और चाणक्य ने उनको बिठाया, और चाणक्य ने क्या किया कि वो जो लैंप जल रहा था उसके पास में एक और लैंप रखा हुआ था. चाणक्य ने क्या किया, वो जो दूसरा लैंप रखा था उसको जलाया और पहले वाले दीपक को बुझा दिया. और फिर उन्होंने जो लोग उनसे मिलने के लिए आए थे उनसे कहा कि बताइए कि मैं आपको किस तरह से मदद कर सकता हूं. तो वो जो लोग आए थे वो थोड़े अचंभित हो गए. उन्होंने कहा कि चाणक्य जी, ये बात कुछ समझ में नहीं आई. अभी आपने एक लैंप जलाया और जो दूसरा जो जला हुआ था उसको आपने बंद किया, ये क्या मतलब है, कुछ समझा नहीं. तो चाणक्य ने कहा, देखिए, अब तक जो मैं काम कर रहा था वो सरकारी काम था, और चूंकि मैं सरकारी काम कर रहा था तो वो जो लैंप जो जल रहा था वो सरकारी ऑयल से जलता है वो लैंप. और अब चूंकि आप मुझसे व्यक्तिगत रूप से मिलने के लिए आए हो, व्यक्तिगत काम के लिए आए हो, तो फिर मैं कैसे सरकारी तेल के दीपक से आपके साथ में मिल सकता हूं. तो जो मैंने जो दूसरा दीपक जो जलाया, वो दीपक में जो तेल है, वो दीपक में जो बाती है, वो मेरे खुद के व्यक्तिगत पैसे की है. और चूंकि मैं आपसे व्यक्तिगत का बात कर रहा हूं, इसलिए मैंने दूसरे वाले लैंप को जलाया. दिस इज, फ्रेंड्स, कॉल्ड corporate governance. This is called corporate governance. Please remember, no rule, no regulation, no legislation, only mindset. What mindset? Good governance. What is good governance? Doing what you are supposed to be doing is good governance, is corporate governance. Let me give you another example. स्वामी समर्थ का हम सभी ने नाम सुना होगा. स्वामी समर्थ एक दिन एक गांव से गुजरते थे. फ्रेंड्स, मैं आपको कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस की बात कर रहा हूं, और मैं कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस की बात करते समय आपसे सेबी के रेगुलेशन की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, कंपनीज एक्ट की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, OECD का जो मॉडल है कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस का, उसके बारे में बात नहीं कर रहा हूं. तो आपको थोड़ा ताज्जुब तो जरूर हो रहा होगा, लेकिन मैं आपको बता दूं कि अगर आपको कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस समझना है और कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस को समझ के अपने जीवन में उतारना है, अपने बिजनेस में उतारना है, तो हमको ये एग्जाम्पल्स को बड़े ध्यान से और गौर से सुनना होगा. और सुनना ही नहीं होगा, बल्कि इन एग्जाम्पल्स को उतारना होगा अपने जीवन में, और तब हम सही मायने में कर पाएंगे कि कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस क्या है. और याद रखिए, अगर हम ये एग्जाम्पल्स को अपने जीवन में, अपने व्यवसाय में, अपने बिजनेस में, अपने प्रोफेशन में उतार पाए, तो फिर हमको किसी लॉ की जरूरत नहीं है टू बी corporate governance compliant, because then our behavior, our conduct itself will be fully compliant with the corporate governance. तो स्वामी समर्थ एक दिन एक गांव से गुजरते थे, और वो जो गांव से गुजर रहे थे तो वहां पर कुछ खेत के मैदान थे, और उस खेतों में गन्ने लगे हुए थे. तो स्वामी जी एक गन्ने के खेत के पास से निकल रहे थे, तो अचानक से एक आदमी दौड़ा दौड़ा आया, और उसने स्वामी जी को देखा, और उसने पास में कुछ गन्ने जो चूसे हुए छिलके पड़े थे उनको देखा, और उसने एक गन्ना उखाड़ा और उसने धमाधम स्वामी समर्थ के ऊपर गन्ने से उनकी पिटाई करनी शुरू कर दी. स्वामी समर्थ मजबूत थे. उन्होंने किसान को रोका, उसका हाथ पकड़ा, उसके हाथ से गन्ना छीना, और उसको पूछा कि भाई, तुझे क्या प्रॉब्लम है, ऐसा क्यों कर रहा है तू, मैं तो सिर्फ यहां से निकल रहा हूं, तूने यूं क्यों ये कैसे मेरे ऊपर हमला कर दिया. तो किसान ने कहा, महाराज मुझे क्षमा करें, मुझसे गलती हुई। दरअसल मैं देख रहा था कि पिछले 7-8 दिनों से कोई आदमी रोजाना आके मेरे खेत में से गन्ने तोड़ के चूस के खा रहा था। और खेत मेरा छोटा है, परिवार मेरा बड़ा है, माँ-बाप हैं, बूढ़े माँ-बाप हैं, बीवी है, 4 बच्चे हैं और मेरा खेत छोटा है, फसल छोटी होती है। तो मुझे बहुत दुःख था, तकलीफ थी कि अगर कोई आदमी इस तरह से रोज़ाना मेरे खेत के गन्ने खा के चला जाएगा, तो फसल कुछ बचेगी नहीं, तो मेरे हाथ में कुछ पैसा नहीं आएगा और मेरे हाथ में अगर कुछ पैसा नहीं आएगा, तो फिर मेरे घर-वालों, मेरे माता-पिता की सेवा कैसे करूँगा? मैं अपने बच्चों का लालन-पालन कैसे करूँगा? तो जब आज मैंने आपको देखा, तो मुझे लगा कि हो ना हो आप शायद वही इंसान हैं, जिसने कि जो कि रोज़ाना गन्ने में से के गन्ने मेरे खेत में से गन्ने तोड़ के खा रहा था, इसलिए मैंने गलती से आपके ऊपर हमला बोल दिया। स्वामी जी मुझे क्षमा करें, महाराज मुझे क्षमा करें, मुझसे गलती हो गई, मुझे बिल्कुल भी अंदाज़ा नहीं था। समर्थ तो दयावीर हैं, उन्होंने बड़े स्नेह से किसान को क्षमा किया और वो आगे निकल गए। अपने आश्रम में पहुँच गए। अब समर्थ के शिष्य थे शिवाजी। किसी तरह से ये खबर पूरे पूरे गाँव में फैल गई और पूरे जंगल में आग की तरह फैल गई और ये खबर शिवाजी के कानों तक भी पहुंची। छत्रपति महाराज शिवाजी के कानों तक पहुंची। जब उनको मालूम पड़ा कि उनके गुरु के ऊपर एक अभद्र किसान ने गन्ने से उनको मारा है, तो शिवाजी को गुस्सा आया। शिवाजी ने तुरंत उस किसान को बुला भेजा और उससे पूछा कि क्या तूने स्वामी समर्थ के ऊपर गन्ने से हमला किया था? किसान सीधा था, उसने बड़ी ईमानदारी से स्वीकार किया, हाँ महाराज, मुझसे गलती हुई, मैंने ऐसा किया है। शिवाजी ने कहा कि कुछ गलती वलती नहीं, ये तूने बहुत बड़ा गुनाह किया है और इसकी तुझे सजा मिलेगी और इसकी तुझे सजा मिलती है कि तुझे आजीवन कारावास दिया जाता है। और उन्होंने कहा कि इसको जेल में डाल दो और तुरंत किसान को जेल में डाल दिया गया। और ये खबर भी जंगल में आग की तरह फैली और इतनी फैली कि ये खबर समर्थ के कानों तक पहुंची। समर्थ को मालूम पड़ा कि किस तरह से छत्रपति शिवाजी ने, उनके शिष्य ने एक गरीब किसान को आजीवन कारावास की सजा दी क्योंकि उस गरीब किसान ने गलती से उनके ऊपर हमला किया। समर्थ के कानों में जैसे ही ये खबर पड़ी, समर्थ अपने आश्रम से निकले, शिवाजी के दरबार में पहुंचे। शिवाजी ने जैसे ही समर्थ को देखा, शिवाजी खड़े हो गए और कहा, गुरुदेव, आपने क्यों तकलीफ की? मुझे हुक्म कर दिया होता, मैं खुद आपसे मिलने के लिए चला आता। समर्थ ने कहा, शिवा, बात ही कुछ ऐसी थी कि मुझे आना ही पड़ा। शिवाजी ने पूछा कि बताइए गुरुदेव, क्या हुक्म है? समर्थ ने पूछा, शिवा, क्या ये सही है कि तूने एक किसान को आजीवन कारावास की सजा देकर जेल में डाल दिया है? तो शिवाजी ने को पूरा गुस्सा आ गया और बोले, हाँ गुरुदेव, बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने। मुझे मालूम पड़ा कि इस नादान किसान ने आपके ऊपर गन्नों से हमला किया और जैसे ही मुझे मालूम पड़ा, मेरा खून खौल गया और मैंने इस किसान को वाकई में आजीवन कारावास की सजा दी है। गुरुदेव, अगर आपका हुक्म हो तो मैं इसकी सजा को और बढ़ा के इसको फांसी पे लटका देता हूं। समर्थ ने कहा, नहीं शिवा, ऐसा कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, इसको कुछ सजा देने की जरूरत नहीं है। अगर तू इसको कुछ देना ही चाहता है तो फिर एक काम कर कि इस किसान को पहले जेल से रिहा कर और इसको 10-20 बीघा जमीन खैरात में दे। क्यों? शिवा ने पूछा, गुरुदेव, ये क्या कह रहे हैं आप? इसने आपके ऊपर हमला किया और आप चाहते हैं कि मैं इसको और जमीन दे दूं इनाम में? ये कैसे हो सकता है? तो समर्थ ने कहा, शिवा, इस किसान के मन में मेरे प्रति कोई दोष द्रोह नहीं था, मेरे प्रति कोई राग नहीं था या रोष नहीं था। ये किसान ने मुझे क्यों मेरे ऊपर हमला किया? क्योंकि ये गरीब किसान है, बड़ा इसका परिवार है, छोटा इसका खेत है। इसको लगा कि कोई आदमी इसके खेत में से रोजाना गन्ने चूस कर चला जाता है और इसकी फसल कम हो जाएगी, इसको पैसा कम मिलेगा, तो ये अपने परिवार का लालन पालन कैसे कर पाएगा, अपने माता पिता की सेवा कैसे कर पाएगा। इस डर की वजह से, इस चिंता की वजह से इसने मेरे ऊपर हमला किया। तो अगर तुझे इसे अगर कुछ देना ही चाहता है शिवा, तो एक काम कर, इसको 20 बीघा जमीन इनाम में दे। शिवा ने हाथ जोड़कर गुरुदेव को वंदन किया, गुरुदेव को प्रणाम किया, किसान को रिहा किया और उस किसान को 20 बीघा जमीन इनाम में दी। दिस इज कॉल्ड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस। This is called corporate governance. This is called governance. This is called good governance. And this is what is required. Remember, as a leader of an organization, you have to be conscious of the fact that being a leader is not a matter of privilege. Being a leader is not a matter of prerogative. Being a leader of an organization means it's a responsibility. And what is the responsibility? The responsibility is to take care well-being of your people. That is what is leadership. And friends, that is what is good governance. And let's go not very far. One more example. पंडित मदन मोहन मालवीय बड़े विद्वान और शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में बड़े ऊंचे आयाम छूने की अभिलाषा मन में। एक दिन डिसाइड किया कि बनारस यूनिवर्सिटी को स्थापित किया जाए, बनारस विश्वविद्यालय को स्थापित किया जाए। और विश्वविद्यालय को स्थापित करने के लिए उन्होंने अपने जितने भी जान पहचान के लोग थे सबसे योगदान राशि इकट्ठा करना शुरू किया। उन्हें मालूम पड़ा कि श्री घनश्याम दास जी बिरला कोई भी अच्छा हो तो उसमें वो जरूर कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं, जरूर योगदान करते हैं। पंडित मदन मोहन मालवीय जी ने सोचा कि क्यों ना घनश्याम दास जी से मिला जाए और उनसे इस प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में चर्चा की जाए और उनसे प्रार्थना की जाए कि वो अगर इस यूनिवर्सिटी का जो प्रोजेक्ट है उसमें कुछ धनराशि अगर वो कंट्रीब्यूट कर सके। पंडित मदन मोहन मालवीय घनश्याम दास बिरला जी से मिलने गए। घनश्याम दास बिरला जी को मालूम पड़ा, उन्होंने उनको बिठाया और कहा कि आप थोड़ा देर ठहरिए, थोड़ा सा जलपान लीजिए। और पंडित मदन मोहन मालवीय जी वहां बैठे। घनश्याम दास जी अंदर गए और उन्होंने वो जो उनका जो रसोइया था, जो उनका नौकर था, उससे कहा कि तुम ये जलपान बाहर लेकर जाओ। तो वो जब वो जलपान बाहर लेकर आ रहा था, घनश्याम दास जी भी उसके साथ में थे, लेकिन वो उस पर नाराज होते हुए आ रहे थे और उससे कह रहे थे कि ये क्या तुमको तरीका नहीं है, तुमने वो पानी जो उबल रहा था उस पर कितनी देर तक वो पानी तुमने उबलने दिया, तुमने देखा नहीं कितनी भाप उठ के जा रही थी, कितना नुकसान हो रहा था। तो पंडित मदन मोहन मालवीय जी ने जब ये सुना कि भाई ये घनश्याम दास जी बिरला तो अपने नौकर को सिर्फ इसलिए डांट रहे हैं क्योंकि उसने कुछ देर तक पानी को ज्यादा उबलने दिया, तो उनके मन में ख्याल आया कि भाई ये मैं गलत जगह पे आ गया हूं, क्योंकि जो आदमी थोड़े से पानी को उबलता देखकर उबलने लगा है तो वो मुझे दान में क्या देगा। तो मदन मोहन मालवीय जी उठे और घनश्याम दास जी को नमस्कार करके जाने लगे, बोले आपकी इजाजत चाहता हूं, मैं चलूंगा। तो घनश्याम दास जी ने कहा क्या हुआ, आप आए थे और आप चल दिए, आप तो अपने यूनिवर्सिटी के लिए योगदान लेने के लिए आए थे, तो थोड़ा ठहरिए। तो घनश्याम दास जी ने मदन मोहन मालवीय जी को कहा कि आप थोड़ा ठहरिए। मदन मोहन मालवीय जी वापस बैठ गए और घनश्याम दास जी अंदर गए, अंदर से एक 2 लाख रुपए का चेक लेके आए और मालवीय जी के हाथ में दिया और कहा कि पंडित जी, मेरी तरफ से ये एक छोटी सी तुच्छ भेंट आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी के लिए स्वीकार करिए। मालवीय जी ने जब वो चेक देखा, 2 लाख रुपए का चेक, तो वो थोड़ा अचंभित हो गए। तो उन्होंने कहा घनश्याम दास जी से, मैं कुछ समझ नहीं पाया। बोले, आपने अपने नौकर को सिर्फ इसलिए डांटा क्योंकि उसने उस पानी गैस जो चूल्हा था उसके ऊपर ज्यादा देर तक रखा, और इसलिए आपने उसको डांटा। लेकिन यहाँ आप मुझे 2 लाख रुपए का दान दे रहे हैं, ये बात मेरे समझ में बैठ नहीं रही है। तो घनश्याम दास जी ने कहा कि वो जो पानी थोड़ी देर ज्यादा उबला, पानी उबलने का सवाल नहीं है, लेकिन वो जो ऊर्जा उसमें जो लगी, वो मेरे देश का नुकसान है। वो ऊर्जा मेरे देश का नुकसान है, और मेरे देश का नुकसान हो ये मैं पसंद नहीं कर सकता हूं। फ्रेंड्स, दिस इज कॉल्ड गुड गवर्नेंस. This is called good governance. And I'm sure if all of you have understood the spirit behind these 3 incidences that I have just shared with you, I'm sure you don't need any further discussion or elaboration as far as the governance is concerned. So what is governance? This is what is governance. Taking care of everything is governance. Doing the things the way they should be done is governance. And what is corporate governance? Same thing, when it is applicable to the corporates, it becomes corporate governance. That means what a business is supposed to be doing. A business is supposed to be creating value for the benefit of everyone. And if a business is creating value for the benefit of everyone, that is corporate governance. If the business is making profit through ethical means, helps the entire economy of the country, so that it helps the people of the country. If that is what the business is doing, that means this business is following the corporate governance. Now, friends, the second question is why and how good corporate governance and business ethics is in the long-term interest of entire humanity. ये जो मैं बोल रहा हूं, हो सकता है आपके मन में एक सवाल आए कि भाई ये it is possible that you may get a question in your mind as to how good corporate governance and business ethics can be in the long-term interest of the entire humanity. What the corporate governance or business ethics has to do with the entire humanity. It has to do a lot, friends. It has to do a lot. And let's understand again with another example as to how corporate governance and business ethics to be followed by everybody is in the interest of the entire humanity and in the long-term interest of the entire humanity. एक और किस्सा बताता हूं फ्रेंड्स। दो किसान भाई थे, पिताजी का देहावसान हुआ, तो पिताजी ने जाने से पहले उनके पास जो जमीन थी वो दोनों भाइयों में बराबर बराबर बांट दी। बड़ा भाई शादीशुदा था, बड़ा था, उसके बड़े बच्चे थे। छोटा भाई छोटा था, उसकी शादी नहीं हुई थी। दोनों मेहनत करते और खेती करते, खेती से जो फसल हुई उससे अपना जीवन यापन करते। एक बार की बात है, फसल खत्म हुई, फसल पूरी हुई, दोनों किसान भाइयों ने, दोनों किसान भाई अलग अलग थे, हालांकि जमीन आसपास थी, लेकिन दोनों भाई चूंकि अलग अलग थे, तो दोनों भाइयों ने अपने किसान जो खेती थी उसको, फसल को काट के लिया और उसको, उस फसल को, दाने को अलग किया, और दोनों भाई के अलग अलग खेतों में जो दाने का भंडार था, अनाज का भंडार लगा हुआ था। शाम का समय था, बड़ा भाई, छोटा भाई नहीं था, बड़ा भाई था, तो बड़े भाई के मन में एक ख्याल आया कि मेरा छोटा भाई बहुत छोटा है और मैं तो, मेरे साथ तो मेरे बेटे भी काम करते हैं, तो मेरे बेटे काम करते हैं तो मेरी फसल अच्छी होती है, मेरी फसल अच्छी है तो मुझे ज्यादा अनाज मिलता है। लेकिन मेरा छोटा भाई अकेला है, अकेले काम करता है, तो उसको उतनी फसल नहीं मिलती है जितनी कि मुझे मिलनी चाहिए, लेकिन उसके आगे उसका पूरा जीवन पड़ा है, कल उसकी शादी होगी, उसको बच्चे होंगे, तो उसको और पैसे की जरूरत पड़ेगी। तो ये भाई के मन में ये ख्याल आया और उसने क्या किया, इस भाई ने अपनी जो फसल का जो ढेर लगा हुआ था, अपनी जो अनाज का जो ढेर लगा हुआ था, उसमें से कुछ अनाज अपने ढेर में से निकाला और अपने छोटे भाई का जो बगल में खेत था उसके ढेर में जाके ऐड कर दिया, ये सोच के कि मेरे छोटे भाई को इससे फायदा होगा और मेरे छोटे भाई का इससे जीवन चलाने में मदद मिलेगी। और ये सोच के ऐसा करने के बाद वो बड़ा भाई अपने घर चला गया। कुछ समय के बाद छोटा भाई खेत पे आया और छोटा भाई ने देखा कि भाई का भी ढेर लगा है, मेरा भी ढेर लगा है। छोटे भाई ने सोचा कि मेरा बड़ा भाई बड़ा हो रहा है, उसकी उम्र हो रही है, वो कमजोर हो रहा है, उसकी फैमिली है, उसके बच्चे हैं, उसकी बीवी है, तो उसके खर्चे ज्यादा हैं। मैं तो अकेला हूं, मेरे खर्चे भी कम हैं और मेरे परिवार में कोई है भी नहीं, तो मुझे उतनी ज्यादा जरूरत भी नहीं है, तो मुझे अपने बड़े भाई की मदद करनी चाहिए। तो उसने चुपके से अपने अनाज के ढेर में से कुछ अनाज इकट्ठा किया और वो जाके अपने बड़े भाई के अनाज के ढेर में डाल दिया। फ्रेंड्स, व्हाट इज द बॉटम लाइन ऑफ दिस स्टोरी? बॉटम लाइन ऑफ दिस स्टोरी इज कि दोनों का अनाज उतना ही कि उतना है, लेकिन दोनों का मन आनंद से, मस्ती से, उत्साह से, उत्सव से, प्रसन्नता से लबालब भरा हुआ है, लबालब भरा हुआ है। And that is why I say that compliance with the good governance and business ethics is in the interest, is in the long-term interest of the entire humanity. And why do I say this? अब ये एग्जाम्पल को थोड़ा डिफरेंटली लें कि एक भाई दूसरे भाई के अनाज दीजिए, अगर इसका उल्टा इसका उल्टा हो तो क्या होगा कि एक दूसरे भाई के अनाज में से उठा के अनाज में से उठा लेता है। ये इन दोनों भाई की होगी, इन भाइयों की भाइयों में विश्वास होगा, इन दोनों भाइयों में So what is going to be the mental makeup of the person who is cheated? जिस आदमी को धोखा दिया गया है, जिस आदमी के साथ में बेईमानी करी गई है, उसके मन में क्या विचार आएगा? उसके मन में ये विचार आएगा कि मुझे मेरे साथ धोखा किया है, तो इसका मतलब इस दुनिया में अगर जीना है तो धोखेधड़ी करना ही चाहिए। अब समझ के लीजिए, अगर सब लोग दुनिया में इसी विचारधारा के हो गए तो क्या होगा? ये पूरी दुनिया धोखेबाजों से भर जाएगी। और आप मुझे बताइए कि अगर ये पूरी दुनिया धोखेबाजों से भर गई तो क्या आम आदमी का जीना आसान होगा, मुश्किल होगा या तकलीफों भरा होगा? तकलीफों की तो बात छोड़िए, अगर ये पूरी दुनिया धोखेबाजों से भर गई तो आदमी का जीना मुश्किल हो जाएगा। इस दुनिया में आदमी की एग्जिस्टेंस रहेगी कि नहीं रहेगी उसका सवाल पैदा हो जाएगा. And friends, that is why I say that compliance with the good corporate governance, and business ethics is in the long term interest of the entire humanity. और समझ के लीजिए कि जो पढ़े लिखे हैं, जो एजुकेटेड हैं, जो प्रोफेशनली क्वालिफाइड हैं, उनके ऊपर ज्यादा जिम्मेदारी है टू एंश्योर. बिकॉज जो आदमी गरीब है वो तो समझता ही नहीं ये चीज को, लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से और संयोग से जो आदमी गरीब है वो फिर भी आज कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस को, गुड गवर्नेंस को फॉलो करता है, बिजनेस एथिक्स को फॉलो करता है. लेकिन हम आसपास देखते हैं कि जो आदमी जितने रसूखदार होते हैं, जितने ज्यादा हाई पोजीशंस पर होते हैं, वो उतने ही ज्यादा गुड गवर्नेंस के मामले में गैर जिम्मेदार होते हैं. ऐसे लोगों को सचेत नहीं किया गया, अगर ऐसे लोगों को नहीं रोका गया, तो ये पूरा समाज, पूरा देश, पूरी दुनिया ऐसे ही लोगों से भर जाएगी जो इनके दिमाग में सिर्फ बेईमानी 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 के ही ख्याल आते हैं. और अगर दुनिया के सारे लोग बेईमान हो जाएंगे तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि हम सबका जीना दूभर हो जाएगा. एंड दैट इज व्हाई फ्रेंड्स आई से दैट कंप्लायंस विद गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस is in the long term interest of the entire humanity. So with this, friends, we will also understand as to what is good corporate governance. So what I've spoken with you so far as to what is good governance. What is good governance and why good governance is necessary. Now we will look at as to what is good corporate governance and what is bad corporate governance. Then we would look at, friends, is corporate governance same as compliance with the corporate governance? Unfortunately, today I'm talking about in the professionals community. So the people who are working in the corporate in different capacities, for them corporate governance का मतलब है compliance with the corporate governance. And remember, that is not correct. Corporate governance is one thing, compliance with the corporate governance is another. Corporate governance is doing what you're supposed to be doing. एंड कंप्लायंस विद द कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस का मतलब है कि चूंकि आप अपना काम तरीके से नहीं कर रहे हो, चूंकि आप अपना काम जिम्मेदारी से नहीं कर रहे हो, चूंकि आप अपना काम उस तरीके से नहीं कर रहे हो जैसे कि आपको करना चाहिए, तो गवर्नमेंट रूल्स लेके आती है और आप खाली उन रूल्स को फॉलो करते हो. दैट इज कॉर्पोरेट, दैट इज compliance with the corporate governance. That is not corporate governance. Corporate governance, business suo moto, when the business by itself does the right things. And there are many business organizations that we have with not many corporate groups. So Tatas are famous for it. Birlas are famous for it, for doing good corporate governance. Thermex, another group which is famous for it, for doing good corporate governance. So that is what we will understand. And then we would also look at, friends, how does the need arise for control through corporate governance and business ethics related regulations. तो क्यों गवर्नमेंट को जरूरत पड़ती है to bring out the provisions in the Companies Act, to bring out the regulations by SEBI, to bring out the accounting standards, to bring out the need for the audit, to bring out the NFRA, National Financial Reporting Authority. So why does the need arise for all these mechanisms? That is what we would understand. And then finally, friends, we would look at as to how can business become compliant with norms of good corporate governance and business ethics. So friends, this is the agenda that we have for the whole day today, or rather for the next 1 hour that we have for this session today. Purpose of this business session, I think, friends, I have told you already, and the purpose of this session is to be aware of the significance of good corporate governance and business law as to how and why it is in the long-term interest of the entire humanity and also for the coming generations. So yaad rakhiye, if I have to worry, if I am worried about, please remember, good corporate governance, if people are not following business ethics, what is happening? We are living a world which is full of corruption, which is full of wrong practices. And remember, if the world is full of corrupt people and wrong practices, our coming generations will have to live in that world. And you can understand, if the coming generations have to live in that world, then what will happen to them? And that is the reason as to why we have to be more conscious about the corporate governance. This session, of course, is going to help all the accounting, finance, and corporate professionals, management and corporate advisors. It is also going to help give them a perspective as to what is the corporate governance in real sense of it. What is the corporate governance in real sense of it? And they will understand as to what is their responsibility in ensuring that good corporate governance is done by them, not because the government is asking, not because the law is asking, not because regulations are asking. They should do the corporate governance because they feel it is their responsibility to comply, to do the good corporate governance. It's also going to help the chartered accountants, cost accountants, company secretaries, lawyers, and all the professionals who keep advising their clients on various aspects pertaining to the corporate affairs, including the corporate governance. It would also help the government agencies and departments interested in compliance with the corporate governance and business ethics by the corporates. And finally, of course, it is also definitely going to be useful to all the students of chartered accountancy, cost accountancy, company secretary, MBA, CMA, and other professional courses to know and understand much in advance the duties and obligations of corporate with regard to corporate governance and business ethics. So friends, these are the beneficiaries of this session that we have today. So what is good corporate governance? True dhamma. Value creation by a business is true religion, and value addition is true religion for any individual. यानी कि एक business ने क्या करना है? A business has to create value. An individual, what he has to do? He has to do the value addition. So an individual has to help the business create more value, and that is good corporate governance. So if I'm working in a company and if I'm helping my company by adding value, helping the company creating more value, that means I'm performing my dhamma, my religion, and the business is also performing its dhamma, and that is good corporate governance. Making positive difference in others' life through creation and distribution of wealth is good corporate governance. Country first is good corporate governance. देश पहले, सबसे पहले देश, first country first, everything else is secondary, and that is good corporate governance. Because ये मेरा देश है और मैं जो कुछ भी हूँ मेरे देश की वजह से हूँ, और अगर मैं कुछ भी हूँ मेरे देश की वजह से हूँ, तो ये मेरी जिम्मेदारी है कि मेरे लिए सबसे पहले मेरा देश, and rest of the things secondary, and that is good corporate governance. Of wealth for the nation is good corporate governance. Business governance. So please remember, being a businessman is not a prerogative. Being a businessman is not a privilege. Being a businessman is not an honor. Being a businessman is a responsibility. Being a businessman is an obligation. And what is a responsibility? What is obligation? Being a businessman, this is my responsibility. Economy growing stronger and faster. And if I'm doing that, that is what is corporate governance. If I'm doing that, then I do not have to look at any legal provision as to what the law says as far as the corporate governance is concerned. Because if I'm helping my economy creating more value with ethical profits, that means I'm already corporate governance compliant, and that is what is corporate governance. The feeling of parahit saras dharam nahi bhai is good corporate governance. Doing what one is supposed to be doing in business, which is beneficial to all without any prejudice, is good corporate governance. So that is what is good corporate governance. Running a corporate enterprise, following all the above stated principles that I have just discussed with you, is good simple. It is really that simple. अगर हम हमारे बिजनेस में ऐसा करेंगे तो हमको किसी लॉ की जरूरत नहीं है, किसी रेगुलेशन की जरूरत नहीं है, because then we are automatically, we are naturally being governance compliant. What is bad corporate governance? Earning profit without any contribution. or value addition is corruption and it's governance, bad corporate governance. The bad and sit somewhere and like an economic offender, So that is bad corporate governance. Gaining at the cost of others is bad corporate governance. Excessive exploitation of natural resources bestowed by the mother earth is bad governance. Remember, so not only we have to take care of everyone, we also need to take care of our environment. If as a business, if we are not taking care of our environment, we are only exploiting the environment to see our profits growing. That is bad corporate governance. How does the need arises for control through corporate governance and business ethics related regulations? So सवाल ये है कि क्यों जरूरत पड़ती है, और समझ के हमको ये जरा समझ के लेंगे, क्यों जरूरत पड़ती है for bringing out the laws and the regulations. And let's understand that as to why does the need arise for any government in any part of the world to bring out the laws to ensure compliance with the corporate governance. Let us understand. So first we understand how the businesses start and run. How have the businesses evolved over the years? तो अब ये जरा समझ के लेंगे कि किस तरह से बिजनेसेस स्टार्ट करे जाते हैं और किस तरह से बिजनेसेस चलाए जाते हैं, एंड हाउ द बिजनेसेस हैव इवॉल्व्ड ओवर द इयर्स. दैट इज व्हाट वी विल अंडरस्टैंड. सो देखिए, समवन स्टार्ट्स ए स्मॉल बिजनेस विद हिज ओन कैपिटल. कोई है जो अपना छोटा सा बिजनेस चालू करता है, उसकी कैपिटल है, तो बिजनेस का मालिक भी वो है और उसका बिजनेस का मैनेजर भी वही है, तो चलाने वाला भी वही है और मालिक भी वही है. तो अगर ये आदमी कुछ गड़बड़ करता है, कुछ करता है, तो he is the only the sufferer, nobody else is the sufferer. And therefore in any case, since he is the owner, he is the manager, obviously he is not going to cheat himself. So there is no problem. You do not need any regulations, you do not need any control in a situation like this. When the owner and the manager is same, no regulation is required. The business grows, makes profit, hence the government would like to collect revenue, obviously, because the government has to run the country. And for running the country, for meeting the administrative expenses, for meeting the expenses for the development of the infrastructure, the government needs the revenue. तो जब एक business profit बनाना शुरू करता है, तो among other things, the government will start charging tax from this business also. So now that the government is charging tax from this business, what happens? For these reasons, need arises for the audit of the business. तो अब क्या हो सकता है कि एक आदमी को चूंकि टैक्स भरना है, तो उसके दिमाग में ये कीड़ा आ सकता है कि अगर मैं ज्यादा प्रॉफिट दिखाऊंगा तो ज्यादा टैक्स भरूंगा, तो क्यों ना मैं कम प्रॉफिट दिखाऊं ताकि मैं कम टैक्स भरूं. सो द मोमेंट अ पर्सन गेट्स दिस थॉट, व्हाट ही डज, ही स्टार्ट्स मैनिपुलेटिंग द अकाउंट्स. एंड इफ ही इज मैनिपुलेटिंग द अकाउंट्स, व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन? द गवर्नमेंट इज गोइंग टू बी adversely getting affected. So what the government does, government brings the first regulation, and that is the audit. So what the government says कि भैया आपके बुक्स की ऑडिट कराओ और ताकि आप कुछ गड़बड़ न करो. And that is, see, this is how the controls and the regulations evolve in any economy with the evolution of the business. Now, some of the auditors goof up, and they goof up so badly that there is a perception of failure of self-regulation mechanism, hence the infra comes in. So अब क्या हो गया, the government ने accounting body शुरू करी. The accounting body is self-regulating body, but unfortunately some instances of some chartered account, some auditors not doing their job well, or rather doing it in a negative way. So then what happens? The government thinks that the self-regulation mechanism is not working and therefore bring another control. And that is how infra comes. National Financial Reporting Authority comes. Business grows even bigger, requiring capital from public. So obviously, so जब business बड़ा हो रहा है, so बाहर से capital चाहिए. That means the business is going to have money from the public, and the business is going to have money from the public. Then one more regulation, so SEBI comes in, because since public's money is involved in the business, so therefore SEBI comes in, or any other regulator comes in. Business grows even big, hence invite debt कैपिटल एंड एक्सपेंशन फ्रॉम आउटसाइड। तो अब खुद की कैपिटल से चालू किया और पब्लिक की कैपिटल से बिजनेस चालू किया, तो रेगुलेटर आ गया, और अब क्या लग रहा है कि और भी बिजनेस को ग्रो करना है, बिकॉज साइज ऑफ द इकोनॉमी इज ग्रोइंग, द नीड्स ऑफ द पीपल आर ग्रोइंग, business requirements are also growing, demand is also growing, so you want to grow the business further. So what do? You borrow money, and when you borrow money, business grows even bigger, leading to separation of ownership and management. तो अब क्या हुआ, अब बिजनेस का साइज इतना बड़ा हो गया कि जो बिजनेस को चलाने वाला है और जो बिजनेस का जो ओनर है वो दोनों सेम नहीं है. So invariably, incidentally, until this date, in most of the cases, the companies which are owned are and managed, the board of directors will still have the nominees of the shareholders or the owners, but principally what happens, there is a separation of ownership and the management. So the people who own the company are different, and the people who run the company are different, and therefore there's a full possibility that the people who are running the company, they might do some wrong practices, and which will result into adverse effect on the wealth of the people who own the business. And that is why you have a SEBI regulation coming in. That is why you have independent directors coming in. That is why you have accounting standards coming in, and that is why you have so many regulations and controls coming in. So friends, this is what we need to understand once again, as to why there is a need, how does the need for control or regulation of a business arises, which of course friends is very much required. There is no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it that it is very much required. But in principle, it is expected that the people who are qualified, they at least do their job without really worrying about the rules and regulations. They should do their job in a way so that they do not have to even refer the rules and regulations, because what they are doing is much more than what the rules and regulations require. So this is what it is as to how the need arises for the compliance, for the control and the regulations. Now let's come to the last part of our session, friends, and how to make a business compliant with norms of good corporate governance and business ethics. अब देखिए, हमने कहाँ से शुरू किया? हमने शुरू किया कि गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस क्या है, और गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस को हम कैसे समझेंगे? गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस को हम किताबों में लिखा है उसको पढ़ के नहीं समझेंगे. गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस को हम समझेंगे कि स्वामी समर्थ क्या करते हैं. गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस को हम समझेंगे कि घनश्याम दास बिरला जी क्या करते हैं. गुड कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस को हम समझेंगे कि चाणक्य क्या करते हैं, और वो जो करते हैं उनका जो थॉट प्रोसेस है, हम क्या करेंगे. गुड गवर्नेंस अगर हमको हमारे लाइफ में उतारना है तो हम उस माइंडसेट को अडॉप्ट करेंगे. और फिर हमने क्या समझा? फिर हमने समझा कि व्हाई गुड गवर्नेंस एंड व्हाई कंप्लायंस विद द बिजनेस एथिक्स is in the long-term interest of the entire humanity, and with the example of two farmers that I shared with you, and I am sure you can expand this example. You can very easily imagine कि वाकई में अगर दुनिया में सब लोग गवर्नेंस को फॉलो करना बंद कर देंगे, सब लोग बेईमानी से काम करना शुरू कर देंगे, सब लोग अगर बिजनेस एथिक्स को फॉलो करना बंद कर देंगे, what kind of world we are going to have? It is going to be completely chaos, and it is going to be everybody after everybody. And if everybody is after everybody, then what is going to be the standard of life on this earth? And that is the reason why do I say that following good corporate governance and business ethics is in the long-term interest of everybody. So what we have to do, we have to have the same mindset of the two farmer brothers of trying to help each other. They are helping each other and they are at peace, and that is what is all required as far as the good corporate governance is concerned. अब सवाल यह फ्रेंड्स कि हमारे बिजनेस में हम किस तरह से क्या क्या करें ताकि हमारे बिजनेस is compliant with the good corporate governance and business ethics. So number one, we look at as to the guiding principle, and then we will look at the hierarchy of companies management for compliance with corporate governance. Then we look at also we understand as to who are the stakeholders. So remember, as a professional, as a practicing chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary, lawyer, or as a working chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary, and lawyer, we have the responsibility onto ourselves that we help our clients and companies in ensuring that they follow the corporate governance, they follow the business ethics, because we are the ones who can guide them. We are the ones who can help them, support them, advise them to ensure that they follow the good corporate governance. And why? Because please remember, compliance with the corporate governance, compliance with the business ethics is not only in the interest of that business, but it is in the interest of the entire humanity. So for that, we will have to understand as to who are the stakeholders. So we look at that, remain focused on the purpose of the business. That is what we would discuss, and ensure return to all stakeholders by focusing on economic value added. So we also understand what is economic value added. Be aware of lifeline of a business and ensure its continuous existence. That is what is very much required, because ultimately, as the practicing chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretaries, lawyer, or working cost accountant, chartered accountant, company secretary, or lawyer, remember, it is our responsibility to ensure that the businesses whom we advise, those businesses do well. Those businesses create value, because when they create value, direct or indirectly, we are also contributing to the economy. So let us understand as to what is the lifeline of any business, and be aware of expectation of all your stakeholders. बहुत जरूरी है कि as a businessman I must know as to what are the expectations from my business and from me by all the stakeholders in my business. And then we look at the tools for implementation of corporate governance, which are already in force. We also look at the OECD principles of corporate governance. So OECD is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. It is a global body, and all the countries are the members of the OECD. OECD keeps on doing a lot of good work in various fields, helping all the economies across the globe in improving the best practices as far as the business is concerned. So they have 6 points principle about the corporate governance. So we look at as to what those 6 principles are. And finally, in India, we have a set of corporate governance, set of regulations. So we also look at as to what is that set of rules and regulations, and so that we are able to help our companies in complying with all those regulations. So first of all, let's look at the guiding principle. So what is the guiding principle behind good corporate governance and business ethics? And friends, this is what we need to remember, and we need to imbibe continuously and forever. In today's business environment, when there is a separation of ownership of business from its management, with the owners being non-working in the business, people at the helms of the business, that is the people who do the management of the business, that is the board of directors and the senior management team, should run it as trustees, maximize value creation for all stakeholders, including the owners, shareholders, members, investors, and keep them fully informed of the state of the affairs of business from time to time. Friends, this is the guiding principle for good corporate governance, which has to be followed by the top management of any business anywhere in the world, by the senior management anywhere in the world, by everybody in the management anywhere in the world, so as to ensure that that business is corporate governance compliant. So that business is following the business ethics. Now, what is the hierarchy of management's company's management for compliance with corporate governance? So, friends, the hierarchy starts from the promoter, owners, investors, and shareholders. This is one set of people. So, these are the ones who have the bigger responsibility as far as the corporate governance is concerned, because ultimately they are the owners. They, being the owners, have to ensure that the businesses that they own follow the good corporate governance. Under them, you have a board of directors, Companies Act. In India, it is Companies Act 2013. तो उसके हिसाब से जो committees हैं, so that is the second layer which is responsible for implementation and compliance with the corporate governance. Under him is the chief executive officer, who is the executive officer working, and he has the responsibility. Under the chief executive officer, you have different functional heads taking care of the finance, marketing, HR, IT, project, materials, purchase, procurement, and things like that. So this is the friends hierarchy. That means this is the set of people who are responsible and accountable for ensuring that there is a compliance of good corporate governance. compliance with the corporate governance. Now, who are the stakeholders? So we, as practicing chartered accountants, cost accountants, company secretaries, lawyers, and other professionals, it is our responsibility, whether as a practicing or working in an organization, to help the companies for whom we work or help the companies to whom we guide as to take care of what kind of stakeholders they have and how do they need to take care of all those stakeholders and their expectation. So what you have in case of an organization, the stakeholders would comprise of investors, employees, lenders, suppliers, and the other creditors, customers, government, public and society at large, and nature and the nation itself is also a stakeholder in the company. So nation also has to be taken care of. Nature also has to be taken care of. They are stakeholder in the business of any company in anywhere in the world. They may not be attending the meeting like other people, but they have a stake. They cannot speak. Remember, they cannot speak. And they cannot attend the meeting. But please remember, they can influence your business. The nature can influence your business. The nation can influence your business. If as a business you are failing in ensuring that the nature is taken care of, nation is taken care of, please remember your business can be influenced by them. They may not be coming and attending the meeting. They may not be coming and speaking in the meetings, but they can influence your business. And remember, when they influence it very badly. And that is what we need to remember so as to ensure there is a good corporate governance as far as all these stakeholders are concerned. Then we need to look at the what is the purpose of a business. And friends, as I keep saying time and again, purpose of any business and every business in every part of the world is one and the same. पूरी दुनिया में जितने भी business हैं उन सबका एक ही purpose है. Doesn't really matter as to which geography they come from, doesn't really matter as to what their product is, doesn't really matter as to what is the size of those businesses. The purpose of every business across the globe is one and the same, and that is to create value by making ethical profits, or to make ethical profits by creating value. And why do you do this? You do this because as a businessman, it's not a privilege, it's not an honor, it's not a prerogative. As a businessman, you have a responsibility, you have an obligation. And what is the responsibility? What is the obligation? Now that you are sitting in that seat of a businessman, now that the God has given you so much power and energy and competency and business acumen, use it. Use it for what? Use it not for accumulating wealth for yourself. Use it for the well-being of everyone in your country. Use it for the well-being of economy of your country. And that is what is the purpose of a business. And remember, that is what we need to carry all the time for ensuring that the businesses that we own have the good corporate governance. Number 3, ensure a return to stakeholders by focusing on economic value added. And remember, any business which is focused on the EVA, it will always have a much better market price than the company whose EVA is less. As a matter of fact, the market price of company share on a stock exchange is directly linked with the EVA. So if a company's EVA is growing, you will see that the market price of this company's share is also increasing. And remember, if the market price of this company's share is increasing, by default, the wealth of the shareholder also will increase. But remember, the business has to work on increasing the EVA, but not at the cost of the other stakeholders. So a business has to take care of all these stakeholders and yet achieve the purpose of increasing the EVA. Then we have at the number 4, be aware of lifeline of your business. And remember, friends, lifeline of your business is nothing but cash profit. Focus on the cash profit. Everything else will automatically be taken care of. So remember, what is the lifeline of a business? Is nothing else. It is cash profit that you have earned and it is available with you in your hand. That is your cash profit. Focus on that. It will help you to be corporate governance compliant. Fulfill stakeholders' expectations. So you have so many stakeholders, as we discussed a little while ago. All those stakeholders have their expectations. Interact with them. Find out from them as to what do they expect from the business. Make a list of all those expectations. And in your business, advise your clients, advise your company for whom you are working, so as to ensure that all those expectations of all the stakeholders are taken care of. What are the tools for implementation of good corporate governance? So number one is the management. Number two is focus on value creation. Number three is the risk management. Number four is the internal control. Number five is certification. And number six is code of conduct. And so these are the tools which are available for the purpose of ensuring implementation of corporate governance by a business. And with the help of all this, Companies Act 2013, SEBI regulations, and accounting standards, you by ensuring that your organization comply with all these sets of tools, then your business organization will have a good corporate governance. Now, what are the 6 principles of corporate governance? So, of the OECD, OECD is ensuring basis of an effective corporate governance framework in your business. The rights of shareholders and key ownership functions are taken care. There is an equitable treatment of shareholders. The role of stakeholders in corporate governance is clearly identified. Disclosure and transparency should be the hallmark for any business. And finally, the responsibilities of the board of directors of the company must be clearly highlighted. And finally, friends, in India, we have a set of regulations for ensuring corporate governance compliance. So what we have the Companies Act 2013. There are different chapters that deals with the corporate governance related matters. We also have LODR, which is the SEBI regulations for listing obligations and disclosure requirements, 2015. So those have to be followed. And finally, what we have is the INDES, Indian Accounting Standards, and those also need to be followed. So once all this is done, friends, I'm sure the companies to whom you are advising as a chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary, or as a lawyer, or as a financial advisor, or as a corporate advisor, or the companies for which you are working in those capacities, those companies will definitely be able to achieve good corporate governance. So friends, with this, I come to the close of my session. Thank you so much to every one of you, and back to you, Dr. Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, and thank you all the participants for attending this wonderful session. Yes, sir, indeed, it was a very insightful session. Sir, you have started the session with the excellent story of the Chanakya and the Swami Samarth. Sir, you also mentioned that corporate governance and the business ethics is more a matter of mindset and less a matter of rules and regulations. You also given us the insights on the good corporate governance and the bad corporate governance. You also give us the advantages and disadvantages of the corporate governance and the business ethics. And sir, definitely when we say that the character is something you do when nobody is watching at you, so the same thing applies to the corporate governance also. Thanks a ton, sir. Once again, I would like to thank on behalf of Pune Business School, which is an integral part of Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust, for having this wonderful session. Thank you, sir. Thanks a ton, and thank you all the participants.
Thank you, Krishna. In case if there
Thank you.
is, thank you so much to all of you. Just
I had just one question, sir.
please go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I could attend a good number of sessions from you, and thanks for this and organizing to Pune Business School. And sir, there is Pramod Jain. I do not come from accountancy or legal background, but I am a technocrat by background, by education and by experience, having more than about three decades of experience, more than 3 decades of experience in industries and as well as in education.